Okay, welcome to this video tutorial. I will show to you how to use Anki application to study your breath. At first, I want to show to you how it works, and then step by step we will see how to set. I open the application, I open my deck with my cards to study, and I begin to study. At the top part of the screen, I read the word. I should type using my steno strokes. I type, and then I show the result. It shows to me which is if the word is correct or not. It makes a sort of comparison between the word that I type and the word that I should type. Okay, in this case there is a little error because at the end I've inserted an extra empty space, but it doesn't matter. Now to the card I should give a score from 0 to 3. In this case there is not the third button, but doesn't matter, just to understand. Sorry, from 1 to 3. 1 if the card I didn't remember correctly. 2 if I remember but not so good, I have to think a bit about it. And 3 if it was easy to remember. Now I press 2.
Concepibilità.
Okay, this is a new word, concepibilità, I don't remember. Concepibilità, this maybe? Yes, concepibilità. I press enter to show, and on the back side of the card I can read also which should be the stroke that I have to press. In this case it was correct, but I have to think a little bit about it, so I press the number 2.
Excursus.
And so on. Excursus. 3.
Concepibili.
3.
Sensibile.
3.
Libero.
3. And so
Made in
on.
Italy.
And I study. So all I have to do is to type the word that I read. Made in Italy. Press enter or spacebar of the keyboard to show the backside of the card. Check if this is right, correct or not, and then give to the card a value from 1 to 3. If I give a low value, 1 for example, this card will appear again in a short time. If I give a value of 3, this card will appear again, but after a lot of time, because the application thinks that I know this card. So it needed to study too much time. Okay, this is basically what I will learn to you how to set this application. I close the application. The first thing we have to do is to go on the web and download the application, which is called Anki. Anki. Probably the first result will be the correct one. apps.ankiweb.net. Pay attention because there are a lot of Anki applications which use the same system, but this is the first one. It is the free and it works. The logo is a star. All you have to do is to download the application for your system, Windows, Mac, doesn't matter, and to install. Installation is really easy, a very standard Windows installation. Once you download it and install, we open the Anki application. The interface is pretty easy. The first thing we have to do is to create a deck. Okay, and then inside of the deck we will insert all the cards that we have to study. Create a deck, we should press the button on the bottom which is called create a deck. Here, give to the deck a name. You can create a lot of deck as much as you want. For example, a deck for location words, location brief, name brief, or brief altogether as you want. You as a standard. This is my name. The deck is empty. We can add cards in two ways. Or we can use a txt file, so we import a list of words, or we can use the add button to add manually, one by one. I can also press the A button on the keyboard. It's the same. I show you to use this way. I press add. The first application asks to me the template of the card, the type of card. For the moment we use a basic card, then we should change. And then in which deck we want to add this card. So we should choose the new deck that I've just created, US steno. And finally, we have the front size of the card and the back size of the card. This is a basic card with two fields, front and basic. We can create as many fields as we want, but for this purpose, two fields is enough. On the first field, we should insert the word that we want to remember the brief, for example, bedroom. And on the second field, the back side, we insert the stroke version of this word. I don't know the English, so I invent B-R-N-O. Then I press Add button on the bottom. It asks me for another card, vegetable, VGO, Add, machine, MCEO, CHO, Add, and so on. When I finished, I press close. Into my deck now there are 3 cards. I click on the deck name, we can read here, free new card, and I press the study button to begin to study my cards. So, this is the front side of the card, bedroom is the name that I just insert. I think which is the stroke version, BMO. I press enter or spacebar on the keyboard to show the backside, BROM. Okay, I made a mistake. So now I can give to this card a score from 1 to 3. 1 if I made a mistake, I didn't remember. 2 if I remember, so, not bad. And 3 if it was easy to remember. In this case, I press 1. The other card, the next card appears automatically. Vegetables, VGO. Let's enter, correct. So I press the 3 key on my keyboard. Please pay attention. The number you should use on your keyboard is the horizontal number, not the number pad number on the right side of your keyboard. So now I press 3. And the next card, machine, should be MCHO. It's correct, but I think a little bit about that. So I give a score, a value of 2. Now it gives me again the previous card because I made a mistake. So it thinks, hey, you have to study it a little bit more. BROM. Perfect. This time I remember, so I can give to this card a value of 3. Or if still I didn't remember, I continue with 1 or 2. Please, this method is a very basic way. Is a visual way. I have to watch and to remember using my eyes, but what I want to do is to use my hands to type the word. For this purpose I have to change the template of the card. It's pretty easy, I show to you. So I give a value of 3 to this card, machine, I press enter, 3. Congratulations, I finished to study the card for today. I can't study more cards because I finished. This card will be available again tomorrow after midnight, okay? So what we do now is to insert the edit field to type with my steno machine the word. It's pretty easy. I click the add button to create a new card, but instead to create a new card, we create a new template, a new type. I click on the basic button and all the template appears. My template I've just created is called Melanie, which is the name of the Italian theory. You can give the name as you want. I click the button Manage and then the button Add. The kind of template at the beginning is a basic template. So I select Add Basic and I click OK and I give it a name. You can call as you want, US System, for example. And I click OK, I select and I click close. I select US system and I click choose this system. Okay, now I created my system, but basically it is exactly the same as the basic template, as the basic type, so we have to change. To change, I click the button cards. All you have to do, on the right we have a preview of the card. On the left we can modify the front size or the back size. All we have to do is to insert a line here. I press enter, I open parentheses, graph, show it twice, and I write type, type, column, due punti, and what I want to type is the front field. So I type front and I close the double parenthesis graph. That's all, finish. Here we have a preview. As you can see, the text field appears. Here we can type the word. Which word? This word. The word of the front size should be the same, of course, but using the stroke. This is the back side, as I showed you before. Okay, I click close and I finish. Now I add a new card, for example, keyboard, key, BO, add another one, for example, grandfather, GFR. Okay, close. I select the deck, US steno. I click study and I have the card as I said before. Keyboard. Here I should type using my steno machine. Key. No, of course I type keyboard. Keyboard. I press enter or spacebar. It shows to me if it is correct or not, and it shows to me also the steno translation. Now I give it a score, for example 3. Other card I type with my steno machine, grandfather. I make a mistake and they show to me which is the mistake. So this letter is incorrect, so it shows to me. But anyway, even if I make a mistake, I can give to this card a score of 3 if I want. Okay, this is only a visual reference of what I type, but it doesn't affect the score of the card. So I can give a value of 3. For me it was easy, even if there is a mistake. Maybe it's the mistake that I didn't want to do, or maybe a capital letter or an extra space at the end, doesn't matter. So I can give a value of 3. Congratulations, I finished. We almost finished. What we have to do now is to import the cards from a txt file, a list of cards, because of course one by one is really slow. So what I do now is click on the browse button. I select the US steno deck. I select all the cards that I've created until now and I press the delete button. Ask to come back to the home page, and now the deck is empty. We have to create a txt file. Okay, usually what I do is to export a txt file from a Excel file, or maybe you copy paste. It's the same. For example, you have an Excel file here like this one. Okay, on the first column it is the first field, so the front size, you have the word. On the second column you have the stroke translation. All you can do is to select all of these, Ctrl C on the keyboard. I open Notepad, Ctrl V. It is really important that between the field there is the tab key. Okay, this is the format that the application wants. Between a word and the other should be a tab, tab key. It is added automatically if you copy paste from Excel file. Each line is a card. Before the tab there is the next field, which is the back side. That's all. Now we save this txt file, save as. Please pay attention because the text file format should be encoded into here, not ANSI codec, ANCI, but UTF-8, otherwise it doesn't work. I give it a name, for example, US deck. Okay, and I come back to Anki. which is here, yes. I click File, I click Import, and I choose the file, usdeck.txt. The first, we should choose which template. You should choose the template that you just created, US system in my case, and then which deck you want to add this card, US steno, our new deck. For the rest, you have to leave untouched. Just click Import. Import here. Okay, here say to me about how many cards I have created, 25 in this case, and I click Close. Pay attention, because if you can't insert twice the same card, for example, if I have another card which is called Anki, I press Tab with this stroke, it doesn't work. It only chooses one of them, or the first one or the second one, I don't know, but you can insert the same card with the same field. Okay, we're finished. Now I click on the US steno, I read that I have new cards to study, I click Study. Abbastanza with my steno machine this time, because this is Italian, I type abbastanza. Then I click the Enter key or Placebar key. It shows to me the difference. Okay, the first letter is capital in my case, but doesn't matter, the word is correct. Here I have the stroke that I can check if I need, and then I press or 1 or 2 or 3, in this case 3, and I continue. Abbi, enter 3, Abbi, enter 3, and so on. Abbiamo, if I don't remember abbiamo, I press, for example, a mistake. No, it's correct. This one, I show is not correct. I press 1 and I continue. Abbiamo, it will come again very soon. You should check this number. I want to explain to you how about this number very short. Basically, this is the cards that you have to study. In my case, I have to study still 13, 11 plus 2 cards left to study for me. The first number is the new card that you added. In the middle, there are the cards that you didn't remember. So if you give a number a value of 1 or 2, this number will rise. It means that you have to study this number. The third number is the card that you review again. So once you finish to study all of this card properly, instead to have 11 here, you will have 11 here, because they are no more new cards, because you already studied once, but it will rise this number. It's the same, doesn't matter. So you have only to know that this number here is the number of cards that you have left to study. Abbiamo, for example, now the number is make a mistake, sorry. I exit. Okay. Abbiamo, the number is 1120. Abbiamo is the word that I make a mistake before. So now, if I give a value of 3, this number 2 fall down. 3 to 0. Okay? This is a new card, Abbiamo. I type Abbiamo. I give a value of 3, and from 11 you left 10 cards, and so on. Abbiate. I make a mistake, okay? So I give a value of 2. This number go down from 10 to 9 because this is no more a new card. But this number rise because I have to study again one time. If to the card I give a value of 1, this number rise of 2. It means I have to study twice. Okay? Something to pay attention. Anki accept this key. The key number 1, 2, 3, return on your keyboard or spacebar if you prefer. Okay? So these 2 keys to show the card, and this to give a value 1 or 2 or 3. But this should be the keyboard. keyboard key, not the steno key. If you use the number key of your steno machine 1, 2 or 3, it doesn't work. Okay, for this reason, in my application, which is Clover application in this case, I created a new dictionary for Anki with this entry. The stroke on my keyboard simulate the return keyboard of the standard QWERTY keyboard, and also 1, 2, 3. I've assigned a new value, 1, 2, 3 of the keyboard. I don't know how to do in other applications, but you have to remember that you have to simulate a standard QWERTY keyboard. Otherwise, the only choice is to type with your steno machine, and then you have to move your hands into a standard keyboard and to press. But it's very tedious to do it. It's better if you create if you simulate the keyboard on your steno machine. The last thing I want to teach you is how to use text-to-speech, because maybe you can read the word, but if you want, you can also listen this word. Maybe it can be useful for me. Of course, it's useful. To do it, you have to install an add-on. Okay, Tool, go on Add-on, and you choose Browse and Install. We need a code to insert here for the add-on, so we have to browse on the web. I click Browse. Here is the list of all the add-on we can install. The add-on we need is called Awesome TTS text-to-speech. If it isn't in the first position, like in this case, you can use Ctrl F to find and press TTS, and you will find very easily. So I press here, I read the number, this number, Ctrl C to copy, and here I paste, and it is installed. You have to restart the application. Now I teach to you how to insert this text-to-speech into your deck. It's really easy. I enter into the deck, I begin to study, and no, sorry, my mistake. I click Add, yes. I choose the template, I choose the deck, and I click Cards. Like before, you remember when we inserted this line. This time, if you install the add-on, you have this button here, Add TTS. Click. Okay. At first in this window, you should choose the voice that you want to use. You can choose a voice from Google Translator, for example, or other services, but this is online services, so if you want to use it, your computer should be connected to the web. Instead, I suggest to you to use a Microsoft Voice, or maybe VoiceOver if you use a Mac, because it's already installed into your computer, so you don't need to be connected to the web. You choose Microsoft Speech, and once you choose it, you can choose the language. In my case, it's Elsa speaker, but the English one maybe Zira, Mike, I don't know which one. This value you can leave as you want. You can change the speed, the features of the voice. Here you have text field. You can type some sentence and to test if you like or not. And then here you can choose which word, which sentence, which word this text-to-speech should read. Leave everything as it is, because we want here is the front field. Okay, just press Insert, and it automatically inserts here for you the tag that we should use. Of course, there is a double, because we have a front here at first and another front that the speaker reads for you. So we can copy and to cut these two lines and to replace this one. It's the same. Finish. Now, if I press close.
Accusa.
She reads for us. You can't listen because now I have my earphone, but it works. Okay, accusa, free.
Acquisizione.
It reads this one. I think it's all. Ah, no, the last thing. Yes, very important. By default, one deck is configured to study only 20 cards per day. For me, it's very low. I need to study more cards per day, so we have to change this option here. I click here on our deck and I press options. We have different tabs. On the first tab, new cards, you have to change this number, new cards 20 to 15 in my case. I think it's enough. Of course, if you don't finish to study all the, not 15, sorry, 500. If you don't finish to study all the 500 cards, you will start the next day. It doesn't matter. Anyway, a 500 number is enough for me. And also you have to change the number also on the review tab from 100 to 500. This is how it works for me. And press OK. And you can start to study. That's all. In my case, for example, I still have to study 480 cards. It doesn't mean I have to study all today, but I always want some cards to study every day. I don't want that it finish and it says to me, okay, you now have to study tomorrow. So I increase this number. That's all. I hope it was clear enough. If you need any information, just email me. Thank you very much for watching. Now I close. Now, where are you? This one. Yes, stop.